Dave, congratulations. The only team in the top 6 to win over this weekend, which is fantastic news. You're up to 5th now in the table. What did you make of the performance? Because you seem to be well in control throughout, albeit the second half, maybe not the bells and whistles you had in the first.
Yeah, really good first half performance. Gets us into a lead in a winning position, and we probably should have had more than what we did. And then second half, listen, you could say comfortable based on the game was played. The majority of the game was played between the penalty boxes, and there wasn't a whole lot of quality. But that for me is where I think we need to get a little bit better. If we're good at our press and we're creating chances on the back, because we really wanted to kick on and go and get that third goal, and I think that then changes how the game potentially pans out. Or if we're solid within our block, or we're looking after the ball in possession and we've got territory and control and possession, then I'd have been fine with that. The game became a little bit sort of basketball-y and sloppy, and I thought we could make better decisions. And I get that sometimes that's difficult because you're playing against a team that's got nothing to lose. At being 2-0 down, so I may as well throw caution to the wind and change the dynamic of the game with the substitutes. But that's for me the area where I wanted us to get better this season. I think at times we've shown that. We didn't show that as much as I would have liked in that second half, and that's a learning one for us.
We did wonder around the turn of the year how you're going to replace the goals of Louis Barry, and well, he's already in the building, Macaulay Southam Hales, and it's something he's added to his game recently. Is it something you've worked on, spoken to him about? No.
Listen, Macca, the way he plays and the way they play in the shape, will find himself at the top end of the pitch quite a lot, and today, as part of what we were looking for, was around crosses and numbers in the box, and we scored a goal from that in the first half with Will being in there. So Macca, the goal against Birmingham, was I suppose a consequence of that. But he'll always get himself high up. I suppose what we have done, just in terms of at times our pressing shape, he's found himself further inside of the pitch, which has resulted in having the strike against Birmingham against the post, and thankfully today he scores from a very similar area. So no, I'm not taking any credit for saying that we've worked on it and it was a master plan of a right wing back scoring goals for us. He's found himself in good positions, and he's got good quality when he gets in there. I know when I first came to the club, he was on free kicks. He took one and he was soon off them because it was horrendous. But he has the legs to get up and down the pitch. And you have to look at the two strikes he's hit, one today and the one against Birmingham, from them similar areas. On the half volley, which is a tough skill. So great for him. The biggest thing for us with him is just making sure we keep him fit and keeping him at his levels, because when he is at it, and he's had no luck realistically with injuries over the past few years, but when he is fit, he becomes a real asset for us.
You talked about set pieces then, and one of the biggest factors I think in your win today was the quality of passing from Oly Norwood. I mean, we're starting to see a Premier League player now, aren't we? Not just this week, last week as well against Reading. He's been outstanding.
Definitely in that first half, like I say, that's where I'm not disappointed. I have to be critical of us in the right moments to try and make this team better. But I look at the quality that we've got on the pitch. We should have loads more control than we do. Whether it's him and Campsey or whether it's him and Beattie, and whether they're playing into Will and Jack and Wout and the defenders that we have that aren't really defenders, they're better or as good on the ball as they are defensively. We're not a head it, kick it type team. That's where I really want them, Oly especially, because of, like you say, the levels he's played at, to really impose and take control of what the game looked like. And all today has done for me really, and we'll have a good chat tomorrow with the players and get their feedback on what it looks like. It's just shown that I need to know where they were at. Were we a little bit safe in that second half? Did we see it as, because we're in the top 6 and they're in the bottom 4, that it was a game that we sort of had to win? And was there a change in our mindset around doing that? And if that's the case, fine, we learn from it. But like I say, with their quality in the middle of the pitch, that's something why they've been brought in. Oly and Beatty, and we had Campsey obviously previously, but the ability to manipulate the football and give us real control, which will open up spaces and then get our, I suppose, more crazy players higher up opportunities to go and score. We probably had 2 little moments in the second half where we passed the ball for maybe 10 or 15 passes, and no surprise, both nearly ended up with an opportunity. I think Gibby put a crossing down this bottom end, obviously, and Tanto just misses out, and then Ibby has a shot, and I think the keeper saves it, but the referee gives a goal kick. So that needs to happen more in that second half, or I think with the quality we've got, we can back ourselves up for that to happen more.
You talk about quality, and you've brought in quality in Marvin Hamilton. I thought for 20 minutes, in little flashes, we saw little glimpses of his ability, and we see why you brought him in. People are going to obviously compare him with Louis Barry, and that's the position he played when he came on as well. Yeah,
he's different to Louis, and what we've got to get Micah used to is the role that he will impact the game in, and the type of performances for us, because he's come from an environment where, for however long he was at Man City, 12 years or whatever it might be, maybe a bit longer, where they used to have lots of the ball, and teams are deep and you can find them little pockets. We're at a level in a league where it's very transitional and the ball's turned over, and you've got to be able to work as hard out of possession in order to get the ball back. And then where you do your work becomes important, because if he's going to go on to have the opportunity to crack the Championship, then he needs to add numbers in terms of goals and assists. You don't do that by the work you do without being disrespectful in the middle third of the pitch. You do that with what you're doing in the final third of the pitch. And that's where Louis got his opportunity, because he's still the top goal scorer in League One, and he's not played for the last month in it. So that's what we need to get him. And listen, he was in the building yesterday to meet the players. Training was windy, shall we say. So a write-off. We showed him some bits on video and stuff. So again, it'll be a work in progress, but good for him, or good to be able to get him 20 minutes in front of our supporters, them to see a little bit of what he's about. But we've still got plenty of work to do with him, which is fine. We knew that would be the case when he came in. But we feel that with that work, he can have an impact. Bigger picture, the window still not closed yet. So a little time to go. I'm not expecting to give us any names, but any areas of the pitch where you really need to strengthen still? Yeah, we would hope that we'd have a centre back and a centre forward in as a minimum, I'd suggest. But I suppose, like what lots of managers will say, they've got to be the right ones for us. They're areas that, if we're going to play with the front two, all right, we've got Benno, but we still want to work with him and get him up to proper speed. And like I say, from my side, club side, really, no expectations of what this season might look like. But if he does have an impact, great. So that leaves us with 2 centre forwards. And Woods has played virtually every game for us, and he's really important. So we've got to look at that dynamic. And it goes without saying, obviously Fraser's out for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Usually he's gone out on loan. So ideally a centre back, but again, it needs to improve us. It can't just be bringing one in for the sake of bringing one in. And lots will come in this window with different demands, is the wrong word, but different expectations maybe around coming into a team and where they fit and do they play. And that's a dynamic that you've got to wrestle with, because we've won our last 2 games and people are coming into a team that is used to winning and is in the playoffs in the league. So there's not loads wrong. We just need to strengthen areas to give ourselves that cover and ideally give ourselves more quality to make us better than we were when the window opened, and hopefully that'll be the case. That's good to hear. Just finally, Shrewsbury, the visitors on Tuesday, they've slipped to the bottom of the table today. The heartbreaking last-minute goal for Charlton today. What do you expect from them? They're obviously struggling, but when you look at their results over the winter, I mean, wins over Wrexham, Birmingham, so they can do it when they want to. Yeah, listen, I'm on my pro licence with Gareth, so I know what Gareth's like, and he will get teams going and get them organised around how he wants to play. And he has no problem admitting what he wants to be and what he wants his football teams to be. Off the ball, really organised and resolute, and he's not bothered about not having possession. So again, I didn't know Charlton scored late on. I've seen that. I've seen the result. But it wouldn't have been any surprise that they'd go there and sort of be able to show up sharp and resolute and defend really, really well. And I expect no different than when they come here on Tuesday. So a different game. Again, a different game than what was last week. This weekend today. Crawley are a team that are different or more expansive. Whether they were going to be expansive or not, I wasn't too sure. They were pretty much the same as what they have been. So we know Tuesday nights are always difficult, regardless. But Tuesday night we're playing against a team that's scrapping for their lives, and we've got to make sure that we do what it takes to win. And I don't know, maybe me being a little bit overcritical of our group, we've done that today. So again, I've said to the players, and I've patted them on the backs in there for saying job well done. But a different task on Tuesday. We spoke 2 games ago about a minimum number of wins. We're too close to that number. We want to do everything we can on Tuesday to make sure it's 3 closer.
That's a good win today. Well done. Thanks,
Cheers, John. Thank you.
Top man.